What's up? What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to another season of Real Talk Today.
That is hooked down into the corner at the wall. It's gone. Talented shot. Lakers lead by 5. And he will leapfrog a defender.
I'm your host, Jared Rosenthal, alongside Ben Steinberg. And thank you, New York, for having us. We moved on. We're in Los Angeles now, so there we go.
I'm going to bring you our 3 Chalk Talks for today. First off, we're going to talk about a little bit about the MLB World Series. Then move along to NBA, new season, new teams. We'll talk about that. And then Halloween costumes from celebrities, mainly sports players.
Yeah, definitely. So let me start it off, guys, with the World Series. It was kind of a blowout, I got to say. 4-1. I was hoping for it to be a little more exciting. There were some points during the series where it could have gone either way, but for the most part, the Red Sox were in control. I mean, Alex Cora, this guy is a beast. The way he managed this team, he's so wise. I mean, I think you can attribute this back to his experience with the Astros last season. And then 2007 with the Red Sox, he played for the team. So he understands what they're made of. He understands what Big Papi means to the team, at least back then. Now he's retired. But I think just him having this baseball insider influence, it definitely helped the team out.
For sure, especially the fact that he won a World Series with the team. He knows what it takes to win a World Series as a player and now as a coach.
Right.
So it's really important for that. I think another main part of it, kind of like just the Dodgers, what happened to them. Clayton Kershaw just not coming up clutch like he was before. And having a bad pitcher, that's just downfall of the team, like main point right there.
It's kind of weird because you see this guy, he's a 3-time NL Cy Young Award winner, and he just can't get the job done in the playoffs, really. But also, on the other hand, you had some run support because the Dodgers, they're a hitting power. During this series, they scored runs, but it was nothing compared to the Red Sox. So when you play it against a team of this caliber, guys like Mookie Betts, Xander Bogaerts, you're going to have a tough time. But I really thought the Dodgers were going to win.
I did too. Going into it, they looked kind of like the stronger team. I think a little bit more experienced, seasoned, and I think, I don't know, it's just a downfall of the team. Some main points, you got to really look at what was their main downfall.
Right. And then also, let's look at the MVP, Steve Pearce. He's been on every team in the AL East, and I think that experience, once again, is the key factor.
For sure.
And so by knowing how each team plays, I think he's developed a sense of what this league really means. So if we look at this, he's 35 years old. He's played 12 seasons. He's pretty experienced from at least those numbers. And what we saw, he performed terrific. He batted .333. He had a .500 on base percentage. I mean, it's kind of tough to get better than that, especially in a playoff position. So, because I know I've seen guys in the playoffs just collapse, like Kershaw, like you said. Although he has won games in the playoffs, he doesn't come up clutch all the time.
When it really matters, it's not where he's at.
Right. And so clutchness is a key factor when looking at a guy's talent. And so if you can't do it in the playoffs, you're kind of useless. You have to understand this Red Sox team as a whole, because I know we're focusing on the MVP and the manager, but the pitching staff for the Red Sox, we saw David Price. He could have easily been the MVP. So, I mean, when we look at this all together, the Red Sox also scored 28 runs in 5 games, which is remarkable. So, I think don't just look at the MVP, don't just look at the manager, look at the entire roster as a whole, and then you can make your claim. So, fans out there, Red Sox, congratulations.
No, we can bring it to this.
Let's go.
Let's bring it to the NBA. All right, so I'm going to talk about a few teams in the East. I'm going to talk about the Celtics, the Pistons, and the 76ers. Now, 76ers and Celtics, 2 very strong teams last year. Celtics started off a little bit slow, 3-2, but then 2 games against the Pistons, 5-2 now. Best defense in the league, no doubt about it, and you can see that every single game. I mean, there's no real way about it, and Kyrie Irving up front, his handles are insane. You can just see him move past some players so easily with such ease.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And then you also got the Pistons, Blake Griffin, Andre Drummond, Ish Smith. On paper, they look great. Reggie Bullock as well. But they start off 4-0. Great. Now they're 4-3. It's kind of been slowing down a little bit. Lost 2 losses to the Celtics. Close games. But their wins have been so minimal, by like less than 5 points, less than 10 points per game. That's the main issue for them. And the Sixers 4-4. Disappointment from last year.
Yeah, and I think we got to look at the East as a whole, because now that LeBron is gone, it's a totally different game. So if we look at the Bucks, my team, they're undefeated and they're playing the Celtics tonight. It's November 1st, guys. So it's Dia de los Muertos. So happy Dia de los Muertos.
Merry
out
Christmas.
There. Yes, Merry Christmas. All the holidays. But anyway, I think that the Bucks, they can shoot the 3. They're competitive with anybody, really. I mean, tonight when they play the Celtics, it's just a matter of Giannis being able to perform.
And you saw how they blew out the Sixers, like, 128 to 100 something, like 103 or something.
The Sixers were no match.
Sixers were no match. I mean, Antetokounmpo, a beast.
The Greek freak. He's awesome, and I also think we gotta talk about LeBron and the Lakers.
Of course.
Because these guys, I called this in the offseason. I said this was gonna happen. I mean, now that it's happened, it's very cool. But was it the right decision? I don't know that we can say it's the right decision yet, because we're so early in the season, but statistically, he's playing great, but the team is not really performing.
I mean, it's kind of a thing of too many big heads in the locker room. You know, you see that with a lot of teams. They got so many big players, and they kind of clash in the locker room. Who wants to be the star of the team? And when you're bringing in a man like LeBron James, it changes the whole dynamic of the team, you know?
Right. Especially in terms of coaching as well, because he's usually that player coach. So... Yeah. You have a guy like Luke Walton. Do they respect him? I don't know if they do, because he's kind of on their level, like about the same age. I don't know if he's the right guy for coaching on that team. Like a guy like Brad Stevens, young guy, he understands the game very well, but there's something different about him. Something in the way he coaches. He gets to his players in a better way, and I think that's cool. But now that we see LeBron in LA, can they make it to the playoffs?
That's the big question. It's only the beginning of the season, so
right.
Only time will tell. Some teams are going to turn around their season. Hopefully. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Right.
But also, let's look at, they got Rondo. They got Kuzma. You got Lonzo. You got a team that's got some veterans. You got some hard hitters out there. You know, Lance Stevenson antagonizes people.
I mean, everybody wants to be number 1 on that team. It's like you got ambitious guys like Lonzo and Rondo as well. He's kind of seasoned, you know, and
yes,
he's a little bit older, but he still wants to be that star of the team. So it's going to be tough, especially just bringing in that big head like LeBron.
Right. So I think now we got to talk about the Warriors. This is the team of the league.
State.
The team of the league. But first, before we get to that, we're going to bring you guys to a commercial break.
Welcome to the world's most enchanting golf course. Rated in the top 10 best miniature golf courses in America, this attraction is a must-see for people of all ages. With 2 18-hole courses, 19 moving obstacles, and 7 water holes, you'll find both a fun and challenging experience for both pros and beginners. Find yourself putting through tunnels, twists, and turns, as this golf course is like no other. Bring your family and friends for a day full of fun competition and incredible memories that will last forever. Park King Mini Golf. Family, friends, fun.
Welcome back, guys. Real talk today. We just showed you a cool clip from our broadcasting class, so hope you guys appreciated that. But now back to this. So the Warriors. Great team. Steph, he's on his game. Clay, on his game. You even saw he dropped 50, about, what was it, 51 points?
Yeah, 51 points.
Yeah, and 14 threes. And that's an NBA record there.
And
in a single game.
What was that? Yeah, and that was like mostly in the first 3 quarters, right?
Yes. He sat out the fourth.
Exactly. Like
people wanted him to be in the fourth, but the Warriors understand that the regular season is nothing that important.
I mean, yeah, but you got to feel for Clay. I mean, playing on such a good game, even if they had to win, I mean, he wants to break records, you know?
Right. But I mean, like, it's kind of like the hot dog eating contest, you know? Like, when the clock runs out, you got to stop eating. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. So, coach got him out of that game. He had to come back to the bench.
For sure. Obviously, Golden State reigning champions right now.
Reigning champions. Do you think they will win again? Like, win this year? All over, can they repeat what they've done?
I think the West has such a new dynamic with the conference. LeBron in it, and it's just
DeMar DeRozan on the Spurs.
DeMar DeRozan, exactly. There's so many. The teams have just improved a lot in the West, so it's going to be tough. If they get to the finals, I think they will win it, but it just depends on getting to the finals for them.
Well, I think if the Lakers can make any moves, like a key move would be to try and get maybe a Kawhi midway through the season.
Maybe. I mean, he just moved teams, so
Yeah, but
we'll see.
a trade here, trade there can do it. But here,
Exactly.
wait, I have my real comparison of the day right now. Everyone, I know you guys love this. So the Warriors are very comparable to police officers. And so I say that in the respect that they essentially can bypass all traffic. And in comparison, that's like them cruising past every team in any division that they play against.
Yeah.
Second, they can pull you over, give you a ticket, and make you analyze your depth, like who you really are,
They kind of, they like bring you down.
Yeah,
they bring you back to reality. You're not invincible.
It's a reality check.
Exactly.
And last, like a police officer, when there's crime, he is able to shoot, and they can shoot beyond the three-point arc.
Exactly.
So you mix it all together, they're cops.
One last point I would like to make. Can we just talk about Derrick Rose for a sec?
Yes.
Career high 50 points.
50?
Not to mention 6 assists, 4 rebounds. For a small guy, that's like reasonable numbers. And game saving. They were up 128, 125. Shot from behind the arc, and he blocks it. Already on his game. That is just what a game for him.
D-Rose. I'm happy to see him coming back a little bit. Maybe it's like a storybook ending. He starts off good. The middle's a little shaky, but in the end it comes full circle.
Riddled with injuries. I mean, it's good to see somebody who's riddled with injuries come back because you don't see that very often.
Right. So I'm happy to see that. And guys, I think now it's time to transition to our third Chalk Talk of the day. So the Halloween costumes, they were off the hook this year, I gotta say. And in the past, they've been too. You want to talk about the past a little bit? Like Curry, he came in as Jigsaw.
I'm a big horror movie guy. Halloween, one of my favorite holidays. I love watching guys. I mean, Victor Oladipo came as Black Panther.
This year?
This year.
Oh,
Victor
okay.
Oladipo came as Black Panther. I love that. That's one of my favorite movies, too.
That's very cool. I know we had Lonzo Ball dress up as Batman, I think it was. Yeah. So that's an ordinary costume, nothing special.
It's just nice to see them, have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, definitely. I also saw Aaron Gordon of the Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
He dressed in an Aaron Judge jersey, which when you put that on him, he looks identical to him.
Yeah.
So I thought it was pretty creative, although it was probably, didn't take much effort to figure that one out.
True.
It was cool.
It was cool, yeah. I like this year LeBron James came as Jason, the guy from the horror movies.
Oh, of course.
I love that.
Horror movie characters.
That's like a great horror movie character for one. I love him.
Yeah.
And two, just LeBron James kind of fitting, he just
it'd be kind of funny.
slashes competition.
I have an idea. If Curry were to have his kid dress up as Chucky, maybe, and then he would dress up as Jigsaw, which he did
That would
last
be
year.
funny. Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny. But I think one more costume that we should focus on was Golden Tate. I know you might have some bad blood for him right now, but
He had to
Willy
go to the
Wonka,
Eagles.
yeah, Willy Wonka. He dressed up as Willy Wonka. I've seen the movie a few times. And that's a pretty interesting costume because you don't see that often. Like in this day and age, we're not really looking at characters of that generation.
Yeah, I like Golden Tate. I mean, he probably grew up kind of with Willy Wonka, and he's just a respectable guy. I like him.
But that's an old movie too.
It did, yeah. I mean,
but didn't they made another
remakes?
one?
Yeah, all that. Yeah,
all that type of stuff. We're in Hollywood. They're making movies all around
the
us. So, guys, I think that just about wraps it up. So today, let's do a little recap. We talked about the World Series. So Boston, shout out to you. You're winning a ton. You got the Patriots, Celtics. You're heading in the good direction.
Oh, yeah.
Second, we talked about the NBA. And boy, can we say we give the Warriors a lot of credit.
for sure.
A lot of credit.
I think we're just gonna have to wait out and see this season, but they are looking just as strong as ever.
Yeah. And last, we just talked about these athletes dressing up for Halloween, which is pretty interesting to see that lighter side.
Yeah.
Because we always see the competitive edge, and now it's a little lighter.
Good.
So, guys, thank you once again for tuning in. This is Real Talk Today. Ben, tell them what they got to do when they get home.
They gotta like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe, guys. Well, that just wraps it up. So, thank you guys for watching, and have a great night.
Yeah, this the real one, baby.
I'm telling you.